Hello there. Welcome to Miller's Laboratory. My name is Sue. I am so happy that you are here with me today. Whether you are shopping for a journal or just stopping in to see what I have been making, I am very, very grateful for all of you, and I appreciate you taking a look at this video today. I hope your life is happy and things are going well for you and that you're having a nice spring. Here in Michigan, it has been really lovely the last few days. A little chillier today, a little cloudy, but it's definitely spring on the march, and I'm really happy to see it. So I have a couple of books here that I'm going to be listing in my Etsy shop, and I wanted to flip through them for you. I'm just going to kind of pull them up a little bit closer here, and you can see that they're actually the same book, just the covers are two different colors. So quick little story on this. I found the green book first, and I just loved the beautiful cover with the heart. And I had planned to make this book and put it in my shop before Valentine's Day. So I was working on pages, I was getting them stitched in, and my husband and I went on a little trip. We stopped at an antique store, and boom, I found this one. And I thought, well, I may as well make two of them at the same time. And so I did kind of rush to try to get them ready before Valentine's Day, but it was just, there wasn't enough time. So then they kind of got pushed aside for a little while, but they're done now, and they're not Valentine's themed. So don't worry about that. If I had to put a theme on them, I would say that what I picked up on here were the little flowers that you see around the heart. And I thought that those were daisies or possibly forget-me-nots. So I used both. Lots of daisies and lots of forget-me-nots in these two books. So I'm going to set the blue one aside for now, and we'll come back to that. I will flip through that one very quickly, but a lot of it is exactly the same. So when I'm making books together and I'm using digitals, I will go ahead and print two or however many of the books that I'm making. So I've used pretty much the same digitals in each book. So they're very similar, but not exact. So I've tied this closed with some ivory colored sari silk ribbon. And we'll go ahead and pull that off. And I'll just set that over to the side here, okay? Oh, a little bit of fuzz there. And first, let's just take a quick measurement of the book. It looks like it is about 5.5 inches wide and about 8 inches tall. I'll kind of show you the spine here. I left it. I didn't cover the spine with fabric. I just put some crocheted lace on there. The spine was in good shape, and I kind of liked seeing the title there with the gold, so I left it. So this is actually stitched in with the stitching hidden. It's on the inside, so you don't see it. The book, if I squeeze it, is not real thick, about 1.25 inches. It's not a super big book. Okay, so let's take a look inside. I just kept the end papers plain as I usually do. This one has the initials of the owner. And then this lovely digital, which is I just think is so pretty with the swans and everything. I made the first page. Just added a little fussy cut part of a wreath there of forget-me-nots. And then this is the title page here, Riley Love Lyrics. So this book was, the poet is Riley, and the book included real photos. So I did use some of those in here, and you'll see them pretty early on, and interesting. They're not the greatest clarity, but that's how the book was. So just made a little belly band here with this cute label and tucked in a tag. There is some ticking at the top, and then this one opens up like an accordion. This is just some vintage paper from a tablet that I had. So lots of writing space there. And a pretty digital here of a little poem, The Daisy Girl. On the other side, I've made this into a pocket page. And we just have a nice journal card here with some daisies on it as well. Collage on the back. Just a little bit of collage here on the page. This is from a really, really old music book, I think late 1800s. And then throughout the book, I've used several digital prints of some sheet music covers of songs that had the word daisy in them, and then added some little daisy fussy cuts on the page as well. This is just a little flip out page here, extra writing space. Here's a smaller page that is some vintage blue paper from an accounting workbook type of a book. And in the center here, I have an envelope. It's going to be hard to see on the camera, but this is an embossed envelope. And there's some birds here and a bird nest and some pretty little flowers that look like daisies. So inside this pocket, I made another little writing space, and this just ties closed, and it has a doily just wrapped around, little bird image there, and then just opens up so that you can write in it. Just pull that. Oh, that's stuck a little bit right there. Come on, baby. There we go. That opens up like that. Okay. Folds over, and then you tie it closed. I'm not going to do that right now. Little tag on this side. Just a little, added a little number and a little bit of crocheted lace on there again on that bulb pin. It's on an old coffee dyed envelope that I used a scrap of. More sheet music there. This is from an old, really large children's book about wildflowers and animals and birds. Here I made just this cute little strap, sort of a corner tuck, and I've tucked in this little card here for journaling. And I just made this kind of unique. If you push on the little tab here and open it up, that is holding the card closed. Then you can open it like this to write inside. And then when you close it, you just kind of lock it closed with this little slip of paper here, like that. So here's one of those photos I was talking about. Just a little kids, a little couple sitting there. I think it's so sweet. Okay, on this side we have a belly band, and I tucked a journal card inside there that I made. I used the cover from some kind of a soft cover tree book, which was green. I just added a bit of collage to it. And then another belly band here with a like a crate label, Daisy Fruit. I used some brads at either side there. And then the envelope that's tucked in there is from a digital from Roxy Creations. I added a label there and a stamp. And then the envelope opens up, and there is another journal card inside to write on. And then the envelope actually is not sealed closed, so you can also open that all the way up and write on the inside. So lots of space there for you. Okay. Here is one of the original pages from the book with some poetry on it. This paper is really nice. It's kind of heavy paper, and it has a bit of a gloss to it. To hear her sing, she was a daisy. This is from an old ledger that I have. And then this page here has a little flap on it that is some printed, I don't think that's vellum. I think that's more like some kind of a nice tracing paper or possibly old typing paper. That's kind of what it feels like. The pocket here. Another journal card. Cute one there. And the page that you're seeing here is from an old Ideals book. On this page, I've used some coffee dyed graph paper, and I have glued this little image of a shoe with some forget-me-nots in it, and I've left it only glued at the bottom and the side so it makes a little tuck spot, and I just tucked this little tag in there. It's made from an index card. This page is from an old Swedish women's magazine or a newsletter. I just really love the writing and I love the color of the paper. Just made a little tab on there, and then you could also write on the back of that. And I did reinforce that with some washi tape because it's old and kind of thin. And then in the center here, I've used a nice little bag to make some pockets. So in this front one, I left this plain. You could write on here or you could do your own collage. And I've tucked a couple of cards in there. There's this one first. This is not an actual postcard. This is something that I printed out. So it's, you know, a digital of a vintage card. And then I added this little label on here and just tucked a little tag inside there. There's nothing on the tag. And you could definitely add something or put something else in there if you wanted. And then this is just another little postcard that I made into a journal card. I used an old, this is like the front page of an old children's book. And on the other side, the child had colored on it with crayons. So you might see a little bit of crayon on here, but I just loved the rest of it and how it aged around the edges. Okay. So those go in there. And then in this other pocket, it opens at the top. We have another cute little card in there. Same thing. All the postcards that are in here were digitals that I printed and just aged a bit. I just added that pretty butterfly there. On this page, I have used an old hanky to make a little corner tuck pocket. And there's a couple things in here. One is a little booklet that I just made and stapled together. Just a few pages in there for you to write on. And then this, in one of these books, and I don't remember which one, I think it was the blue one, someone had tucked these articles that they cut out of a newspaper that are about the writer, Riley, James Whitcomb Riley. And so I put one of them in each book. I just thought that was a cool thing to have in there. On this side, I have created a little clip-on pocket, and I'm going to try to slide that off easily here. So you could take the pocket off and write on the back, and then when that's clipped back in, it won't be seen. And then inside, there's also a little tag that I made. And I used, again, one of the illustrations from the book. Okay. There's a lot of blue and green in this book because those were the colors of the covers, and I just thought they went with everything really nicely. Cut out these pretty blue birds and added them to this page. And that's just lots of writing space for you. And another sheet music cover there. And this is a lovely original page with this lovely image of this girl. And I was really tempted to do something with that, but I thought I'd leave it. You could write all around it if you wanted to, or you could do some collage or painting on there. It would be really pretty. On this side, I've got a belly band going across. And I just added a little bit of collage and a little bit of vintage eyelet on the bottom to decorate that. And then inside that, we have another little tuck, a little writing spot. Oh. This is on some card that was from like an old guest book or something. It's got a little bit of a gold line on it. This is a really old, a page from a really old French book that I have. And then the lady has some daisies there on her bodice. I thought that was pretty. A little bit of an old hanky in there too. Here I have clipped like a stereoscope card. This is something that I printed out. It's not original, but it kind of almost looks like it is because I tried really hard to age it and make it look authentic. So this is actually on a file folder, but I just really was able to make it look old. I added a little eyelet here, and then there's just some vintage blue rickrack and some blue embroidery floss and a couple of antique mother of pearl buttons there. And then those just kind of stick out the top of the book, which I thought was cute. Pretty digital there. Here's another original illustration with a man in a hat standing there. And then just a really lovely blank page for you to work with. Another little pocket here from a label, a crate label type of a thing. A couple things tucked in there. A little tag here that was a ruby and pearl tag that I just embellished a little bit. And then a journal card here again from another postcard. And then, let's see here on the other side of that, there's just that pretty image of some birds. And another vintage blue paper from that same old accounting workbook that I have. This is from the Florilegium book that lots of people have. And on this side, I have used a little page point to clip another little journal card here. This is some wrapping paper, and then this opens up. And there's this other half of that, other side of that floral botanical page. And then on this side of the clip, there's another little journal card put in there. That one is pretty tight. It's not going to fall out. Go. Okay. This pretty image of this girl with the daisies. She was so sweet. And then here's another one of those really pretty music pages. And then this is my favorite thing that I did here in the book. So this is an envelope. Oop, that was a sneak peek there. I didn't mean to do that. This is an envelope that had a long flap on it, and it had iris on it. You can kind of just see a little bit of the blue there, and obviously iris didn't really go with the theme, but that's okay. So I put this pretty picture, another picture of a lady with her pretty tiara and more daisies, and added. So this is actually the flap of the envelope, but I made it into a page. So there is still the sticky part there, but it's not sticking to anything. I don't think it will be a problem. And then I had the envelope, and of course you have the opening of the envelope. So what I did is I just glued vellum inside of there so you can kind of get a sneak peek of what's inside the envelope. The stamps here are just holding the edge of that down. And so inside this pocket, I found this old kind of like a memory book that you would buy. It's kind of like a postcard type of a book. Oh, there goes our phone. Hold on just a second. All right, well, we'll just cut that little bit out. Okay. And so anyway, it's like from Italy, and it's really cool. There's a whole little book, and it has all these pictures in it. So I put a tab at the top, and I used this really old paper this was actually like a fly paper from an old book, really faded, which I loved that. And then I just made the tab so that this would open up. So you can also write on this side, and if you want to read any of this stuff in Italian, you can. So there's that. So now we're going to go flip this open. And I did create a pop-up in this book. Haven't done one for a little bit, but there it is. Just a big old daisy with a bee on it. I thought that was cute. And I left enough blank space here that you can still write there if you'd like to. All right. Just kind of going through the rest of that signature backwards here. Here I used a little Rolodex card that I glued, temporarily glued, like with not very good glue. Glued it to a piece of paper and ran it through the printer is what I'm trying to say. So I was able to get that doily pattern on there. Just added that little cutout of that blue little daisy. And I like it because you can kind of see like a little peephole at the bottom of the pocket there. You can see the bottom of the tag. So this tag, I just layered some tracing paper over the top of it to kind of give it a cool look. So you could write on here, or you could write down underneath here and you'd see through it. I thought that was pretty. This is a piece of stationery that actually went with the envelope that we saw earlier. And again, I'm trying to hold this so that maybe you can see. It's very lovely. It's like embossed, and birds and daisies all the way up. And then it's a cutout too, so you can see through it. And another original book page, and this is kind of timely here now because I picked this Blooms of May. We're coming up on May pretty quick here. And this sweet little image here. And then on this page, I've added a little, well, it's got a little pocket here with a little tag inside again. And then this folds way down. So this is some blueprint paper, and it folds way down. I don't know if you can see how much you get there. Lots of space to write there, and then that just folds back up and kind of sits there neatly. That is actually wrapped to the other side of the page where I've glued it down on the sides and made a little up-tuck type of a pocket. And this is the other half of the Forget-Me-Not wreath that you saw at the beginning of the book. And then I just tucked one more little journal card in there. And on this one, because it's going up, I put a little tassel at the bottom there. All right, and then there is my label and my signature. So that is the first book, the green one. Now I'm just going to grab that blue one and we'll go through it really quick. I have the same lace that I used on the spine, same title there and everything. This book isn't quite as faded as the green one was, but it's the same size and everything, obviously. Okay. We have the same cover here. There was no name on that one, so that's just plain. Same tag. I think that label is a little bit different, but I think the sheet music pages are not in the same order in this book, but I used the same ones. When I am using book pages from real books, then those are not going to be exactly the same. But, you know, like this paper isn't going to be exactly the same as what's in the other one. On this one, I have this little corner tuck on the other side, but it's the same little card that holds closed with that little piece of paper there. This one obviously is going to be a different page again from a different book. This is pretty much the same. So here's that same little hanky that's made into a tuck spot. This is just a little bit different image on the cover here. Same little booklet though. And then this obviously newspaper article is slightly different than the other one. Has a picture of Mr. Riley there. I just thought that was sweet. Somebody must have really enjoyed him to save those. I used a different image though from the book. This has this pretty lady standing there. She's so elegant. Obviously these are going to be different flowers. This image will be a little bit different because it was out of a book. So pretty redundant there, but I just wanted, if you were going to get the blue one, I wanted you to see what you're getting. So there you go, guys. If you're watching this, then I have listed these in my shop, and I'd love for you to go take a look. I have the link below. Thank you once again for joining me. I just really appreciate all my loyal people that like to watch me. It's just very heartwarming to me, and I am very grateful. So have a wonderful day. Thank you.